Senator Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ditlevson, as ranking member of the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, I recently released a report that found that there were no clear metrics of success for the continued deployment of the National Guard in the District of Columbia, even as taxpayers right now are paying $1.65 million per day. There seems to be no end date for this deployment. When my staff asked the head of the D.C. National Guard for those metrics of success, he said that it was up to political leadership, that would be you, but that he was driving towards zero crime and zero drug overdoses. Certainly it's an ambitious goal. I think many people might argue that zero crime and zero overdoses is unrealistic. My question for you, though, is what metric do you believe will provide or will prove that the deployment has been a success and that the troops no longer need to be in the streets of the Capitol? When will you say it's a success and we can take them off the street?
Senator, thank you for the question and the ability to address the deployment to Washington, D.C. This has been an incredible success, and we have seen crime rates plummet, Senator. And I have to echo the President from the State of the Union address, looking at overall homicide numbers in the district. These are incredible results that we've had as crime continues to go down and down. Now, at the department, we are always analyzing and making sure we tailor our responses to the facts on the ground and how things change. In the case of D.C., we look forward to the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department being able to get back on their feet, be able to take back these streets from criminals and make them safe and secure for all Americans and visitors to our nation's capital. And so we make sure to tailor over time. We're always looking at that, Senator, and as the Metropolitan PD can come in and take over the mission, we expect that we can tailor off those numbers, but we always have to make sure we're being aware, cognizant of the threat, and looking at what we can do to help make our streets safe and secure.
Well, if confirmed, I'd like to have further conversation and have you take a look at the report we put out. Crime rates were actually going down before the National Guard deployment. They've been steady since that time. So taking credit for what occurred prior to the D.C. National Guard coming in is really not realistic, and those numbers are outlined, and I'll have that discussion with you if confirmed. If we looked at some of the success and metrics, it was repairing fences and picking up trash, things of that nature, which had nothing to do with public safety. And it also took out of the D.C. Police Department some police officers who are also part of the National Guard, and it took them off their patrols and put them onto beautification projects, which seems to be counterproductive, particularly for that kind of money. So we'll continue to have those conversations if confirmed. My second question for you, sir, is if you are confirmed, under what circumstances would you support sending troops into states in advance of an election?
Senator, for any situation where we would be utilizing National Guard, the first objective is always to make sure that people are safe and secure. The premise of the question, I can't really speculate on why that would ever have to occur, but I would say if there is a security threat or something of that nature in a city, this is why we have National Guard able to deploy to defend our people against threats. So I can't speculate as to that particular situation, but if there was a threat in this country, of course, we'd want to make sure our people are safe.
Are you familiar with the U.S. Code and what it says about this?
Senator, I believe you're referring to the deployment of troops around polling places. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes, Senator, I am aware of that particular statute.
So given that, I'll read it for folks, for the committee. It's 18 U.S. Code Section 592. It prohibits the deployment of any troops, and it says, quote, at any place where a general or special election is held, unless such force is necessary to repel armed enemies of the United States. So I just want to ask you again, in what instance would you support sending troops in advance of elections? So this is be armed enemies of the United States. How would you define that?
Senator, I appreciate the concern, and I would point to past precedent in a lot of cases. For example, during the COVID pandemic, we did have to utilize National Guard to assist with all the logistics around these things. Now, we do a lot of logistics support in certain situations, and that would be a situation that wouldn't qualify. And I just want you to know, if confirmed, Senator, I commit to following or making sure that we analyze this, provide the best recommendation up to the Secretary. We talk to the Office of General Counsel to make sure everything that we're doing is legal and lawful before that advice gets to the Secretary. I can make that commitment to you, and if confirmed, I look forward to working with you on this issue.
Well, just quickly, would you agree that this is an extremely high bar to meet?
Yes, Senator, I would agree it's an extremely high bar, and that's why we will provide the most robust analysis and best advice to the Secretary on this issue.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Peters. Senator Rounds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.